It's still afternoon. Good afternoon. Good evening. Uh, I guess the Lord was trying to warn me beforehand, and I was sitting here and I was praying the Lord and working on the message that I was going to give y'all tonight and my music. You know how sometimes you playing music on YouTube and you play it for so long it paused by itself. So the music is paused, and I heard outside a lot of arguing and fussing. So, I try to keep the peace on the block and try to work with the young people and reach out to them. And I just kept on hearing arguing, and some was kept on telling me, this stay out of this, stay out of it. Then when I found out it was one of the young ladies that I had knew that got two sons that was getting to fight, there's a whole bunch of people down there. And I went on, put my shirt on, put some pants on, and I walked down the street, trying to diffuse it when I seen it was getting ready to fight because I know she got two little boys. So I went down there and I went to grab her and hold on to her, not to the guys' people. And one of the guys just come up swinging and hit me from behind. And, by me holding her, I fell. So as I fell and I was on the ground, he was still punching me. I got up. So I got up. I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of dazed. I said, okay, young guys move. I said, I ain't finna be playing with these young people like that. So my mind snapped. I went back to the old me. And I was glad that the young man wasn't out there when I went back. I'm truly glad. So I know you probably gonna watch this video because I'm sitting back and I'm thinking about this, and I know how people set things up. You know what I mean? But as I was sitting here and I was thinking like that, and murder was going through my mind, God reminded me. I got reminded about that time when that happened with Bishop Marvin Winans at the gas station. And the young boys jumped on Bishop Winans and robbed him. And I kept on praying the Lord. I prayed to the Lord over and over and over, and I was saying, Lord, let Bishop Winans know that this is an opportunity, a great opportunity for him to reach the young people. If he forget them and he work with them young boys, if he tell them to just get the young boys 90 days in the West Virginia and say that they had to do 2 years community service or so forth with the church, with him, then rather go to the penitentiary and get a number, and that way the community can reach out. And I prayed that prayer and prayed it over and over and over again. And I got reminded of that. I know you can see my face kind of swelled up, but the swelling that I got because he hit me from the back of my head. Back of my head swelled from him punching me. But all this comes from a tooth, and I can back that over record. I went to the emergency care yesterday. My face when I got up yesterday morning was swollen out basically. You can see from out of my eye. The church that I went to, you can see it on the screen and see all that before then. It's coming from a tooth that need to be pulled. And they gave me some kind of steroid shot, so it made it went down. But all the punches that he punched me came from the behind. He was hitting me from behind, But anyway, that's neither here or there, But y'all probably can see that. But anyway, I was praying that prayer and for all that time, and Lord started reminding me of that as I was sitting there heated. And my mind was just in the gutter. I'm talking about old me started suffering everything, got reminded of that. And I said, yeah, and all the stuff I'm praying about God reaching the young people. And I know that I went out there because the young woman, she had two kids, two young boys. And I don't want to see her young boys seeing her being jumped on like that. You know what I mean? Because Quiet Scat, we need to stop. We always talking about the Europeans, this, Europeans, that, and this. It ain't them, it's us. And I almost participated in that. Almost broke a promise that I made to the Lord. And I'm glad that I didn't get the opportunity to do it. So I'm going to just ride the back, even though my heart is still, fighting and dragging. What I know the right thing to do is to truly just let it go. And I hope that the young people in this neighborhood don't mistake that with softness. Because it's truly a side of mine that exists in me. And I'm not bad that you don't want to awake. I want peace to be still. I'm going to overlook this. But please don't cross that line again. I'm begging you. You know, next time, I don't know if I have time to sit down and God to remind me of why it is that he saved me and did all that for me, because he did a lot for me. And I don't want to spit on his goodness. But I got on here to show y'all how God can give you a message about something. And if you don't heed it in the right way, you know what I mean, the enemy may end up getting down on you. Now watch. The message come to me as I was praying. I'm only going to give y'all this part of it. Father Yahweh's children need to be careful in this season. This is the season where Satan will tempt you even more, because he knows that this is the season of deliverance. Pay attention to this. This will come. This is the season where Satan will tempt you even more, because he knows that this is the season of deliverance. This is what I picked up as I read Luke chapter 4, verse 1 to 9. When I got to verse 8 and 9, it started to speak to me. I was reminded about the temptation Satan tried on Jesus Christ while he fasts. So I went to Luke chapter 4 and read verse 1 to 13, but 8 and 9 hollered at me. The other verses built it up, I believe. Now, right after this came, I was getting ready to type this up and post it on Facebook. That's what I was doing while all this was on. I just got to praying. This had just come to me. I had just read Luke, and I'm going to read it right quick. I had just read Luke chapter 4. I'm just going to read it, and I want y'all to keep in mind that he knows that this is in there. I'm getting ready to show y'all how the year the 69 is in there, how Charlie Kirk, the year that he was born, the date and the month is in there too, and in those verses. Getting ready to show y'all this. Now, this Luke chapter 4. And Jesus, being full of the Holy Ghost, returned to Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, being 40 days tempted of the devil. And in those days he did eat nothing. And when they were ended, he afterwards hungered. And the devil said unto him, If thou be the Son of God, command this stone that it be made bread. And Jesus answered him, saying, It is written that man should not live by bread alone, but by every word of God. And the devil, taking him up into a high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, All this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will give it. Now watch what happened at this. If thou therefore will worship me, all shall be thine. Now watch what happened. Now this Jesus, and Jesus answered and said unto him, this is when it started really hollering, and said unto him, Get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou worship. Okay? Now in here, when you're taking and doing this, you get the year of the 86 4 times in here. And one of the times you get it in a place where Satan is mentioned, because Satan is 5 letters and 1 word. So you get the number 6 there and the verse is 8. So that's 86. That's the year that we in right now. Okay? Now I'm just doing that right now. I'm going to come down to verse 9. And he brought him to Jerusalem and set him on a pinnacle of the temple and said unto him, if thou be the Son of God, cast thyself from hence. And that's when it began to speak to me that we're in the season that Satan is going to tempt the believers to try to get them away from the deliverance and the blessings that God getting ready to give them right now. And this had just come to me just before that had happened. And I was getting ready to type it up because I was trying to not get on here until I get the message. Was that's Sister Myrna. How you doing, sweetie? I was trying to get prepared for the message. Yeah, please do, because I almost slept. I almost slept. Please pray for me. So anyway, this had come to me. And all day I just been in here seeking the Lord, and they have been revealing stuff to me all the way from the President Russell M. Nelson, that used to be the Mormons head man, passing, and how all that was leaking up with the shootings, and this with Charlie Kirk and Voodie. I mean, all day just talking. And then when I went to pray to ask the Lord for help on how to explain it, this would come to me. It wasn't no coincidence that this come to me, at a time or just before this was getting ready to happen. But me looking at them two young boys out there with their mama and seeing a whole crowd of people and seeing there wasn't nothing but brothers and sisters, said, no, this ain't supposed to be, you wrong, you step back and you don't go down there and say nothing. Like I said, I know I can't fight and get down like I used to, bad back, you know what I mean? I ain't making no excuses, because if he would have just teed off with me, I don't know if I would have been on a whoop or not, but at least it would have been a fair fight. He snuck me, and they was videoing it. So it was on the video to see that it wasn't no head up thing. It's on the video to show that I was trying to hold the young girl and break it up. Not that girl, but the young girl that I knew, and telling that girl, hey, this y'all shouldn't be doing that. I'm trying to keep the peace when it's happening. And and it's to the point where we don't even respect the peacekeepers. And then when people get to thumping and putting our young boys and young girls down, then we want to go to crime. And like I said, I ain't no bad person, but back in the day, I'd have been riding around trying to find him. And that's the truth. But that was me being stuck on stupid, just like they stuck on stupid right now. You know what I mean? Because they don't understand that they're around here doing something that is somebody that they don't even know this person's background or what this person to do. But thanks be to the Lord that the Lord set me down there and reminded me when I was praying to him all that time when that happened to Bishop Marvin Winans, hey, now here it is, you in that predicament. So what you gonna do? You finna handle this like, a gorilla in the mist? You know what I mean? Creep. You finna go there now? My mind was that. But here it is, a young man that got a whole life ahead of him that didn't understand that, hey, you was knocking on a door that death can easily open up to. You know what I mean? And not to say that, the young people ain't creeping like we was creeping at the time, because it's evident that they're doing. But the point that I'm trying to get to is this, the two things. This message come to me. I know this is the season for deliverance and blessings. I ain't getting on here saying sow no seed and did God gonna do it. I know, because he's pointing it out in his word. His word is speaking, because I'm seeking him. And he letting it speak. The year the 69 showed up in there. 666 showed up in there. Charlie Kirk, the year that he was born. 1993. 10/14/1993, in the middle in the middle of this, you got 4 words. The four words got 14 letters in it. That's the date. That's the date that Charlie Kirk was born in. Okay? Now, here in this date that Charlie Kirk was taken and born in, if you which is the 14, that's the middle, and you find that in the middle. When you go from reading this, where I'm at verse 9, when you go from reading this, he said, and he brought him to Jerusalem and set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said unto him, and then said on him, when you take and you count it, that's the middle. Okay, that's the middle, and said unto him. Okay, that's where you get the 14 letters. Now, if you take and you count from, and he brought him to Jerusalem and set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said unto him, which is the middle, you get the number 19. You get the number 19. Okay, now, so you got the 19 right there. Now, right here where you got the 19 at, you also got the 4 words. The 4 words with the 14 breaks down to 18. 18 breaks down to what? 18 breaks down to 9. So you got 199. The middle is the third part. That's 1993. Now remember, you go back, the 19, when you break 19 down, 19 breaks down to 10. That's the middle. 10, 14, 1993. Then this is said in 30. This is the above is said in, let me go get my other Bible because I did in my other Bible. Now, this is said in 31 words. Charlie Kirk passed when he was 31 years old. He was born for this. He was born for this. He did the same thing that Jesus did every time Satan approached him. He hit Jesus in the face with the word. Because we go back up right here. We go back up in here. Come on, Lord, help me out here. We go back right here to verse 4. It said, and Jesus answered him, saying, it is written that man should not live by bread alone, but by every word of God. And all through this, when this was going on between Jesus and Satan, Jesus kept on hitting Satan back with the word, just like Charlie Kirk did. So there's no coincidence. So right after this had happened, and I have been seeking the Lord and whatnot, and you know what I mean? Yeah, and even fasting. Something else, ain't it? You know, boom, then this happened. You know, and like I said, it's a shame because what's getting ready to come up on our people right now, young people like that are going to be the first ones that's going to be smashed. And the reason why, because the government know they can't handle them. So they already got a plan in the mix. That's why it's so important right now for us to be able to reach our young people. And that's why I don't understand for the life of me, why would God let that happen to Charlie Kirk, someone that was reaching the young people? I can't grasp it, man. And I can't grasp it even more now because someone like me, I'm trying, but you push the button and I'm ready to revert back to the old me. I ain't conquered that all the way yet. But he gave me a little time in between. If I'd have went down there one way, you know what I mean, then it could have turned out a whole nother way. But my mind wasn't there. My mind was on peace and looking at my people that I know I helped put in this predicament. You know what I mean? I helped do this. And I know that because of greed. You know, the drugs and all that. You know, the shit up talking about all this guy, I done been in all of it. In and out of penitentiary and all of it. You know, so I know how easy it is to snuff someone's life out. You know, I know how stuff like that leads to something else. And see, they're around here videoing this, and they don't even know that you videoing this and you posting this, and you don't know who somebody else might know that might say, hey, man, they did that to my boy, and I'm a boom. You know, because I know people like that, but that ain't what I want. That ain't what I want. Because in due time, God's going to deal with that young man and all the people that was involved in that in the right way. Right way. Every time I thought I got away with something, I never did. I never did. Wasn't no reason for the young man to come up behind me and hit me when I was trying to just get the young girl that I know and break the fight up. No reason. I went down there and said, hey, y'all, come on. This shouldn't be. She got two young boys. I went down there talking. It should be all on the video that they recorded. And that shows the mind frame and the sickness of our people, that they can't even know and hear when somebody's coming down there with peace and love in their heart for their people. We don't even recognize that. A lot of people don't even recognize that. You know? And I truly hope that young boy, I truly hope he find God, because, you know, what you did today, you know, it's other people that's just like me that ain't gonna have the time to sit back and think about how good God been to him, how he been praying to God about stuff like that and being able to reach young people. Some of these other people, they ain't saved, that you might take and do that to. Snuff your lights out and everybody that's with you. See, that's the type of stuff y'all have to think about, because that's the consequences for stuff like that. You might do something to somebody, and that personal whole frame of mind is to take out everybody that was there. You got people that think like that. I used to think like that. For real. Stuck on stupid. Stuck on stupid. And if I wouldn't have been dizzy by you bopping me 5 or 6 times in the back of my head, I probably would have tried to get up and give you a fight. But for what? For something that shouldn't have been, when all you had to do is say, hey, that brother coming down here trying to bait this, or he right. But it shows your mind frame. You know, it shows that you stuck and the people that planned this is stuck. Because you trying to pick a fight, and y'all see how I went out. I just been here serving the Lord. I just put this on and go down there and break that up. Was getting ready to take a shower after I did this. Anyway, I ain't finna keep on hammering on and on about this. I'm gonna try to give a piece of this message tonight. You know what I mean? I don't want to give it in a bad spirit, because it's really important. But do y'all see how all of this God is speaking in all of it? You even find the year that man was born in the 9th verse. You find 10/14/1993. You find the number 31. And then when you go to verse above that, you find 85 one time. You find 69 one. Hold on. No, you find 69 in the 9th verse. You find 69. Hold on. I don't want to say nothing wrong, because I don't want to be making no mistakes no more. You find 69, because it's temple, okay? You find the 69 there, and that's in verse 9. You find it backwards, you find it 96. Because when you get to temple, that's 15 words, and it breaks down to 6. So if you go backwards, that's 69. We in the year to 69. If you go up to the 8th verse, you find the year 85. And then you also find the year 86 in here. You find it in here 4 times, y'all. 4 times, y'all. And then in here, in the part where we speaking about Charlie Kirk's, the year he was born, being shown in there, the middle is 3. You find the 3 in the middle, and we know that we in the last 3 years of the 333, and I'm getting ready to point that out to y'all tonight in the other message if I have time to take and get to that, because I'm gonna try to take my time and go verse by verse. This is how important this is. It leads to so much stuff. So the bottom line is, don't be stuck on stupid like I was just getting ready to be stuck on stupid now. Some of y'all been praying and fasting for a long time. Some of y'all been seeking God, doing the right thing, and He getting ready to move in a powerful way. And I ain't asking you to sow a dime with me for this. I know I had to seek God to take and get this. And you know, my due day gonna come if I just listen. And, you know, and be careful about certain things, because I know the devil is trying to pull me back that way. You know, I got a chance to see other things right after that happened that speaks to me. And I know I'm trying to reach a lot of people that hearts are hardening. And he had just told me that. I just got, because I kept on asking, why is I'm seeing this black serpent that's turning into a rod? And why is I'm being reminded of Moses and the rod? Why is that keep on? I'm not Moses. But got reminded that Moses was dealing with Pharaoh and his people, and their hearts was hard. So all this leading up to this, y'all. You know, and I've been sitting up here whining about he ain't talking to me. And all this all day long. But wanting more. Not being satisfied. And God speaks about that too. You know, the eyes seeing and wanting more. The ears hearing and wanting to hear more, instead of just digesting all this on my plate right now that's full. Anyway, please listen to me. He's trying to take and come against what God is getting ready to do for you in this season. Y'all know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to the ones who's opening up their heart to Him, seeking Him, you know, turning and repenting. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit tonight too. So I'm probably going to have to do this in like 7 or 8 parts. You know what I mean? To really get down to it. You know, to hope y'all understand. I'm hoping and I'm praying that y'all do go and read Psalms chapter 51, verse 17, 7 times, because God won't reject a broken and contrite heart. You know, the sacrifice that He wants is a broken and contrite heart. A broken and contrite heart, God will not despise. I know this for a fact. My heart was broken that day in the shower when He asked me and broke the curse. Okay? So anyway, I'm going to go on and get off here. I'm going to try to still do this tonight. If I don't do it tonight, then I won't be able to take and do it till about Thursday, because I got to go and get this tooth pulled in the morning. You know, that's why my face all swelled up. So, you know, all the swelling in the back come from the young man, you know what I mean, doing that. But like I said, you know, I just hope he don't have to find out the hard way that this stuff that they going around here doing, videoing and jumping on people. Anyway, well, he had on a little face mask, but it wouldn't be hard to recognize him. You know what I mean? He tall, slim, you know what I mean, light skin. You know what I mean? You look at the nose bridge, you know what I mean? So, I mean, what is you really hiding? You know, then for y'all to video, y'all ain't even thinking, man. Y'all ain't thinking. You know, you don't go out doing wrong videoing it, man. And even though that happened to you, I'm trying to give you some real advice. That's stupid. You never know who somebody else know. You never know. And I'm going to be honest with you. It was in my heart to take and do something to you. But I know that'll go against all the good that God did for me. I know that'll go against all the things that I prayed for. So I'm leaving it in his hands. Now I hope don't nobody that I'm okay with, that find out about it, go out and do nothing. I mean that. Leave it be, Some lessons have to be learned the hard way, but we don't have to be a part of helping them to learn it in the wrong way. So I'm hoping y'all hear me, because my mind went there. But I know, hey, how many times have he saved you? How many times have you did something stupid like that and God said no, but end up letting you be punished in another way? Because I got punished. It was just another way. Anyway, I'm going to get on off of here. So be careful. The enemy is coming at you in this season, because this is the season of deliverance and breakthrough and blessings. For those whose hearts are not hardened, for those who's meditating on God's word, for those who's seeking him. That's who it's for. And none of the ones he's coming in. I love y'all. I'm going to try to do this later. If not, it won't be the Thursday. Okay, have a blessed day. Love y'all. Bye-bye.